Okay, this video is going to come on the exact same formation that we did last time. Today's video I wanted to talk about third-party features and essentially, should you use them, do you have to use them, and what's the implications if you don't use them? Featuring me on the road again, and we'll just keep walking around and see what happens. I kind of was thinking about these different features really. The offer system that people do, people can accept offers, they can send offers, they can do all that sort of stuff. What is the importance of that? Like, should you do that? Do you have to do that? And is that the most incremental thing to do? What I want to look at with this video is the third-party features that people have, right? The offer system that people use. When it comes down to the offer system, do you think you actually have to use it? Do you think it's to your detriment if you don't use it? Like as in if you make a sale and it doesn't work out? What is the sort of system of that and what is the situation with that? Right now, essentially we're just getting in the middle of lots of carnage, lots of mess. But essentially what I'm thinking, that this video is a bit of a chaos, but we like it. Third-party apps and the features that they use. Do you have to actually use them in order to get successful sales? Let's start with the offer system. I was having a conversation with someone called Sam, who's on TikTok, and he sort of challenged this point of perspective, and I wanted to bring this to one part of the video's conversation. My point initially was about the people who have the offer system. My personal perspective of everything is, if an app has a feature, you should use it. Does it mean that that feature is to the detriment of some part of the ecosystem? Questionable. Does it mean that it's definitely going to work if you use it? Not known. He was basically saying, with the offer system, essentially you shouldn't have to ask for offers, or you shouldn't say that offers are welcome if people are going to send low offers. And my point and argument more so tends to home towards the whole point of third-party platforms have features that you use, and if you don't use them, I do think that it discourages the visibility of you on, the apps that you're using. So when we come down to the offers feature, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? And I guess it depends on how you look at it. If you get stock for absolutely nothing and you're happy to just sell stuff very quickly, then the offer system is great because it's a way for the customer to feel like they're getting a better deal with you and get something from you very quickly. Whereas if you are somebody who maybe has more high-end items, maybe you sell Stussy and you're selling t-shirts at £50 a piece, you don't want to constantly keep getting offers for like £15 on t-shirts that you might have spent £20, £25 per t-shirt on. Totally get that ecosystem, how that can be seen in that way. And I definitely think that it sits along a line. But the issue is, regardless of whether you sell cheap items or if you sell high-end designer things, the feature of the offers is still a continual thing and a universal theme that runs through all third-party platforms. So my argument is normally to look at and suggest, how can you actually make that make sense for you in a way that you can still get the sales, still make the profit, and use those features that the customers want you to use? And most importantly, what the apps that have made them want you to use. Offers, what do I generally think about them? A great way for people to feel like they're getting this thrifty way of buying online. It's kind of annoying how the secondhand system of things has an offer system, and I think that's because secondhand selling is probably built up of the car boot, the haggling, the flea market type of ecosystem, and with that typically there are offers to be made. You wouldn't go on the Burberry website and see a button next to a Novacheck shirt saying, it's £365 but make me an offer. And I think that the reason why the offer system is on secondhand stores and on secondhand platforms is because of that ecosystem that it has. When we come back to the point now, should you use things, should you not? And when we look at just purely the actual offer system, I think it totally depends on whereabouts you sit with the prices you're trying to sell things for. A lot of apps are changing the ways that they work, and a lot of apps, even Depop, Vinted and eBay, are all like removing their clothing fees. Vinted never had it, but eBay recently, I think on the 10th of April, and Depop did around about March time. These apps are all aware that people are trying to make more money out of the secondhand clothing. The offer system is something that they can never really go back on now. You imagine if Depop did another update and they went, right, we are removing the offers feature. It would require every single other platform to do the same in order for them to not lose money instantly overnight. Because they would lose loads. And this is the system that we have. These third-party apps offer these ways of the customer getting a better deal, and you as the seller have to work that into your system. You have got to be the flexible boss rather than the person that's like, you've got to be this, you've got to be that. You want to be the person that goes, oh, you can only do Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's all right, let's make this work. Be the solution, not the problem. And I think that ecosystem kind of works in a bit of a better formation with it anyway. Looking at offers, are they good, are they bad? I would just say totally it depends. Are there other systems that offer similar things to this that have a negative or positive connotation? Yes. Now eBay does this, and I think eBay is probably one, because of the size of it, because of how big the company actually is, it has this totally different system in order to kind of like offer this buy one, get the second 15% off. Buy one, get one free. Do this, do that. Like, you've got this constant thing where it's like you're incentivized to spend more and be saving more at the same time. But a lot of people in the secondhand economy of things might just want to sell the products that they've got at those prices. But my argument will always come back to this point. While these apps have these features that they're advising the sellers to use in order to benefit the customers more, it doesn't go in a right line to not use these things in order to help that system out. If it's got a buy one, get this other free feature and you're not using it, then they are just going to rank those people in and a little bit more of a higher formation than you on that side of things anyway. That really is how it is going to work in a system of things. So I really believe that you've got to work it in making sense for you. I know that one point in the argument that Sam mentioned with the offers from an earlier video on TikTok was more so towards you having to accept offers. But what my point is, if you have to do these features, if you've got the buy one get one free, if you've got the offers, you've got these systems that the features and these apps use that are features, that you are unsure about using, embrace using them. Figure out how it works for you, make it work for you, and make it something that you want to promote as well. I've learned the hard way with some of the bits I've done on live stream selling. For example, this is a great loop to this point actually. This is the point about £1 no reserves. £1 no reserves. Is that to the detriment of secondhand? Most definitely. Is that something that is going to be difficult to go back on? Most definitely. But is it actually the worst thing in the world? No. What is bad about that situation as an outcome? £1 no reserves puts you at the total risk of an item going for £1. However, the ecosystem of things works very quickly in a way where as soon as one person does it, everybody does the same thing. To be honest with you, that's fine. Like, that's fine as a system to have. You have to look at things always as, can you afford to actually lose that money? Let's go back to the point. Let's not be silly. So the £1 no reserves, is it a good or bad thing? It is a total bad thing, really. There's someone coming in a sec. Hang on one sec. So is it a bad thing? We've got everyone coming in and out like the okie-dokie, but that's what we do. So £1 no reserves, is it actually a bad thing? It totally depends on how you actually use this system. Like for me, my logic approach of everything is the £1 no reserves can be something that's very difficult to manage because most people aren't getting clothing for £1 in order to sell it for £1. So you do that sort of system and you're like, you potentially be losing a lot of money. But the thing is where we get to with these points is once these apps actually have something instilled like this, if you're not using it, it is just to your detriment of what you're doing. The main way to actually work on using this is to actually just look at how to integrate it into that system that you do. £1 no reserves, very, very difficult system to approach. It comes to that same point. These apps have these features, this system have this implementation, and if you're not using it, you're getting left behind. Spen, you're saying a lot of the same. I know. The same way with offers. And maybe just touching on this very lightly, when platforms create systems that everybody of other platforms seems to replicate, i.e. everybody does the offer system, everybody does the boosted feature option, some of them offer different ways of incentivizing by buying more items, some of them do different things on the fees, one of them does something and they all do it. The same with live streams, all of them have £1 no reserves. That's a theme now within the secondhand economy. It is to the detriment, it needs more people to be there in order for you to see a product. Remember, you only need 2 people to need one product, and they could be bidding war in the same way that you would on eBay. So everything is always about relativity, and it's always about looking at it in the right perspective. Don't be mad at the people that sell things for £1 no reserve. Look at how you can make that make sense. Don't be annoyed at the person that's happy to accept any offers. Work on how you can talk to your customers better to let them know through the narrative that you're happy for offers. Don't be annoyed that the guy has buy one get one free on all his products and you can't compete. Look at how you can source better stock or work in a different manner to offer something similar. And if you don't want to do that, then don't be too upset about the fact that they exist, because offers, £1 no reserves, these sort of things, and many other types of things will always remain. So guys, as always, it has been survival Spen here on the roads, out seeing if we can get hit by a car. Joking. But there's been a lot of things going in and out actually, so hopefully you've enjoyed the ambience of the video. Stay safe, stay sustainable, keep doing you, and you will see me on another video tomorrow. So big up, see you then.